If you want to get to 10K a month using AI and automation, then you only need these three things. And no, it's not some fancy shortcuts or shiny AI passive income. It's real, practical, boring advice from someone who's making 105K a month in the automation space. So let's get into it. So this is going to be the alchemy of actually making 10K a month using AI and automation, okay? Now, imagine you are an alchemist or like a wizard mixing a potion. And once you drink that potion, now you can make 10K a month your entire life, okay? Let's imagine this is a potion. Now, inside that potion, you only need to mix three things, okay? And these are the things that I'm going to talk about in this video. The first thing I'm going to be talking about, and it's going to be the most important thing, which is, let's make this blue. 80% of your results will come from 1 to 3 things you do every single day. 1 to 2, maximum 3 actions that you do every single day. Now, we all know that in order for you to be successful, you need to actually work hard. But you need to spend a little bit of time thinking about how to utilize your time. And hint is going to be getting customers. This is like a big problem for people, right? And I get where the behavior comes from because I used to do it myself. Let me tell you something. If you're below 25K a month, right? The only thing you should be doing and the only thing you should be focused on is getting customers. That's the only thing you should be doing. Because guess what? Getting customers is what actually makes money, right? If you're not consciously trying to get more customers, you're not going to make any money because money is not going to fall from the sky, right? You have to actually go into the marketplace and sell things and get customers. Like the only thing you should be doing is getting customers. And how do you get customers? Is by outreach. Like that's the only thing you should be doing. Like 80% of your day should be in just outreach. Unless you are drowning in clients, the only thing you should be doing is outreach and talking to more people and trying to sell things and getting customers because it's directly tied to your income, which is making money. There are multiple things that are going to make you money, but what actually moves the needle, right? Because think about it. There are multiple tasks you could be doing during the day, right? You could be trying to build this automation, trying to tweak systems, trying to learn this new AI feature, like this new tool, trying to play around with new business ideas from ChatGPT. If you are a developer, maybe you're trying to tweak this code. Like I know you're doing all these non-revenue generated activity that don't actually make you any money. When in reality, you should not be like, I know you're spending the entire day trying to build this system and you don't even know if people are going to buy it or not, right? You don't even know if it solves a pain or not. You're just building it because it's fun. Well, things that are fun for you doesn't necessarily make money for other people because they have to solve a problem for them in order for you to make money, right? In order for you to make money, you need to remove pain. And the only way to remove pain is by providing value that people actually want, right? So you're spending your entire day doing these things. And I'm not saying these things are not going to make you successful, right? But if you put X amount of energy here, it's not going to directly make you money. But let me give you an example. If you're talking to a prospect, they might have the pain that your automation is solving, and they will be excited to work with you. So once you talk to them, now they're going to pay you. And this is how you make money, by talking to people, right? It's not by waiting for them to come to you, trying to do non-revenue generating activities that don't necessarily move the needle, okay? And let me just give you another concrete example. Let me give you like a simple example. Imagine this is a bucket, okay? And this is all your energy, time, attention, all of this. This is all your time and energy that you wake up with every single day. Now, inside, there's revenue generating activities, which is essentially just getting customers, right? And there are low return on investment tasks, right? Like these things that we mentioned, okay? Now, these things will cause holes in the bucket. And eventually, you guessed it will cause leaks, right? And now, all of these leaks are wasting away your time and energy and focus. And this is why you feel burned out. This is why you feel burned out and you haven't done anything, right? Like I get it because I used to do this myself. Trust me. So now that the bucket is essentially empty, well, now there's nothing. The water is outside and it's called a leaky bucket. Okay? You need to be focused on revenue generating activities. And you need to understand that most of the success, most of the money that you're making is going to be coming from 1 to maximum 3 things that you do every single day. That's why it's important to stop and think what actually moves the needle. And what moves the needle is the things that leads to customers, okay? Which is, let me give you 3 things you should be doing. 1, talking to people who might need your help. Second thing, reaching out to businesses who experience the pain that your automation or your sales automation or your system is solving. 3, following up with leads. And the fourth thing, which is huge, improving your offer so it's easier for prospects to say yes. Improving your offer. This is really, really important. Like, I talk to many like beginners, like freelancers, and even entrepreneurs, right, in the automation space, and they don't understand what an offer is, right? Like you need to be having an offer. People are not just gonna buy from you like your sales automation or like your automation just from the get-go, right? Like, think about it. How can you sell things? Well, you need to reach out to people. There's only a few ways you can actually sell things, right? There's only a few things to actually make money. You have Upwork and Fiverr, and now you're becoming platform dependent, just like I was, and I got banned. You have building a personal brand. Well, guess what? You don't have a personal brand. Third thing, it's SEO. Now, we all know that SEO takes years, right? Like, there's a reason that SEO agencies do not make any money. And you have pay-per-click ads, but are expensive, right? Like, you should not be thinking about ads at all, unless you are making at least 30K a month, right? So what comes next? Well, it's basically reaching out to people, because conversations leads to opportunities, and opportunity leads to money. That's it. You should be spending your entire time in outreach, because the truth is a lot of people look busy without making progress. Let's talk about the second thing, okay? And this is, again, really, really important. And once you understand it, you'll cut through the noise and you will become a beast in this space. What you need to understand is that sell automation that people want. And as silly as this sounds, beginners and freelancers and even entrepreneurs that I talk to are trying to sell everything all at once, trying to sell everything, build everything. But the problem is, when people try to sell everything, they usually end up selling nothing, okay? Because the man that chases many rabbits catches none. We all know this. So the mistake that beginners and freelancers are doing every single day is they're trying to build something fun, right? Something that looks fun for them, that looks interesting for them, but it doesn't actually solve a pain for a business. And let me give you an example, okay? This is what you're building, okay? And this is what businesses want. What businesses want. Now, this is what you're building. AI agent, chatbot, AI proposal generator, blog poster. Guess what? These things don't lead to customers. They don't remove a pain, okay? Let me be real with you. A business wants customers. That's the only thing they care about. Like, I talk with a lot of people and they're really skilled. That's a problem. They're really amazing at what they do. They build crazy AI agents that actually, they look interesting for me. Like, I'm like, whoa, this looks amazing, right? Like it looks like I get impressed. But the thing is I know they're not going to be sold, right? Because businesses simply don't want them. AI and automation is still new, right? You have to understand, we are in this little space. We know these things, but if you go outside, people don't talk about this. And business fundamentals still apply, whether it's year 2000, 3000, 5000, okay? They still apply. Warren Buffett said, all virtues are going to be here forever, right? So these things never change. So this is what you're building, and this is what a business wants. They want leads. They want customers. They want partners. They want intros. That's all what they want. They don't want your AI agents, right? Like, think about it. There's an offer A, okay? This offer A, I will get you 5 to 6 clients. And offer B, I'll build you an AI agent that posts on your IG. Like, which offer looks more appealing to you? The first one is directly tied to revenue. And the second one is, nice to have. But it's not important, because having an AI agent that posts in your IG doesn't directly put food on the table for these businesses or these decision makers or these founders or whatever these business owners are going to be talking to. Sell automation that people actually want. So pick one thing that removes pain. And it's always going to be sales systems, and go all in. focus on one thing, because you need to understand that rich people, rich entrepreneurs, and people who make a ton of money in the space, they picked one thing and they focused on it because that's the only way to get good at it. Now we can charge more and now you can dominate the space because you actually can do it because you're good at it, right? It just makes sense. Think about it, like Apple, when they first got started, like they focused on making one product insanely good, which is the iPhone. And then after that, they worried about the iPod, MacBook, and all of these things. In fact, half of Apple's revenue, right? Even more than that, like 60% of their revenue comes from the iPhone, one single product. They're not focusing on launching 100 different phones or trying to appeal to every tech user because they don't care. They know their customer. They don't try to do a million things at once. They focus on one thing, making the iPhone insanely good and part of our lifestyle. Like everyone uses an iPhone nowadays. So if Apple, a $1 trillion company with all of these resources, are focusing on one thing, one product to make it insanely good, what makes you think that you should not be doing the same? Like, just think about it. Let's talk about the last third thing, okay? This is the third thing. And this is more of like mindsets and paradigm shifts that you need to implement, right? This needs to be rooted in your identity, right? Because identity is the root of all mental. Because an identity of a successful person is not the same identity of someone who is not willing to take action. Carl Gustav Jung, the greatest psychologist of all time, he would get people who are overweight to lose weight just by changing their identity, right? Because you have to understand that whatever identity you are in right now can be changed, right? It can be destroyed and can create a new identity. So what he's done is he would change the identity of someone who is obese, right? And he'd say, hey, you are not an obese person, okay? You have an identity of a healthy person. And over time, that patient would start implementing that identity. And identity just shapes all of your habits. It comes from the identity. The identity, like remember, identity is the root of all mental. Let me give you an example. Think about it right now. You have an identity of a successful person. Well, let's think about it logically. What is an identity of a successful person? Well, they take action, okay? They're not worried about starting over. They focus on one thing. They have singular focus, okay? That's it. Because you need to understand that singular focus leads to exponential success. This is where like everything is going into your direction, which is called the Lollapalooza effect. When it means simply in plain English is that you have multiple forces working all together and get you faster to your end goal. Okay. This is how Coca-Cola basically is one of the best companies. They have one amazing product. They have crazy good advertising and they also have a brand. So when you merge all of these things like the alchemical potion, now you have billions of dollars because you essentially merged everything, right? And you cooked it. And now you have one thing that actually works. Okay. This is exactly what I've implemented, right? This is like people would tell me, like, Saad, how did you manage to scale so fast? Well, these three things, I delayed gratification, I solve things that people want, and third thing, and I focus on 1 to 2, 3 things that actually move the needle because you need to understand that 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of the input. Whatever you input you put in, the output you're going to get. So you need to be delaying gratification. And this is like really, really annoying with this automation space is this idea of get rich quick scheme or like this AI passive income. And I'm blaming gurus for this. I'm not going to lie. Changing business model from business model, trying to sell this automation today and next day you're trying to sell another different automation. The problem with this is that it promotes short-term spikes. You got 1 month that you're making $1K, the next month you're making $0. And this is the issue with freelancing is you have this unpredictable income, which is really, really scary, is that this month you're making a little bit of money. Next month you're not making any money at all just because prospects are not posting jobs. Like think about it. Like I would rather work in 9 to 5 than actually do this. Now, if you're watching this, right, and you're like me, I'm assuming you want to build something long-term, something you want to do for a long time, something that's sustainable, right? Because it removes that aspect of anxiety about the future. Because now you're safe, right? That safety, like we all humans crave safety. And that safety only comes from not worrying about the future and being present because your mind is not constantly thinking about whether next month is going to be, there's going to be like job postings on these platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, right? That's not a business. That's a hobby dressed up as one. And this identity, this mindset will keep you stuck at the glorified, I like to call it the glorified freelancer, which is the worst thing. And I was a glorified freelancer when I was freelancing back then, which is the reason why I don't like this hustle culture. I don't like hustle culture because it just doesn't imply long term. There's no aspect of security. You cannot predict the next month or like the next 6 months or like the next year's income, right? You cannot predict it. That's the issue with the hustle culture because it implies short-term spikes over long-term sustainable cash flow. I want you to understand that you need to treat this like a business, right? You think about it like, do you think Elon Musk like treats his business as a like hustle or like as a passive income? No, he went all in. He put all his money on SpaceX and he went and took money from the bank to pay for the rent. So these are the characteristic and traits of successful people. They go all in and they treat that thing as a business. They obsess over it. And if you do this, it's unreasonable. Just like Alex Hormozi says, it's unreasonable for you to not succeed. Impossible. It's just impossible, right? So you need to treat this as a business. Go all in and give it your entire focus and stop giving away your attention because you need to understand that if you don't tame your attention, the market will tame it for you. We're constantly going to be thinking about new tools, new features, all these shiny AI tools, AI agents, all this crap, but you're not actually focusing on things that actually make you money and talking to people that have the pain that you can solve or your automation is solving, okay? And that's how you get those depressive episodes where you're like, is this even worth it? And you're down and you're like, what should I do, right? Like, because what I'm doing is not conducive to the end result, which is the life that I want to be in. So delay gratification. Treat this as a business model, okay? So recap. Let me just recap this for you so you understand it, okay? So first thing, sell automation that people want. Second thing, right, is 80% of your results will come from 1 to 3 things, which is basically getting customers. Once you are drowning in clients, then you can think about systemizing, optimizing your processes. But now the only thing you have to be doing is, unless you're making at least like 30K a month, right? Because in consulting with many companies, 6 to 7, 8-figure companies, even then they understand that pipeline is always going to be some pipeline issue because more clients just offsets everything, right? You have more cash flow, right? You can fix problems easy. You can hire people, therefore you can scale. But if you don't have customers, like what are you doing? And the last thing is delay gratification, okay? It's not some get rich quick scheme. You have to understand this. You need to put in the effort, and you need to put the effort in the things that actually move the needle and selling things that people actually want. So get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.